I'm Jacob Preston. I'm also known as Bluffton's tallest potter, and it's such a nice day in Old Town Bluffton that after I finish up my chores here, I'm going to take a little stroll around the village. I think you need to join me. I'm here at the corner of Calhoun Street and May River Road in the absolute center, the heart of Old Town Bluffton. And I want to encourage you, when you visit with us, to make an effort to get one of these maps. And you can get one from most of the welcome centers. You can also go to oldtownbluffton.com, and you will see an online version of this particular map and the information that goes along with it. And the reason it's important is because even though a lot of what is happening here in town is on Calhoun Street, it's not a comprehensive list. There are a lot of things that are down the different side streets, across the way in the promenade. And the map is kind of the key to accessing a lot of these cool things. So it is certainly worth the effort to acquire one of these maps. Come by my shop, I will give you one. I'll give you a handful for all of your friends and neighbors. Most of the merchants will have a good supply of these, and I want you to encourage you to get one, to make your stay here in Bluffton a lot more fun and a lot more productive. If you haven't been to Old Town Bluffton in a while, one of the new things that you'll see are these mapping kiosks that are in front or associated with points of special interest. They're also keyed to the maps that the Old Town Bluffton Society is putting together. Today we're here at the end of Calhoun Street in front of the May River estuary, and this particular kiosk has a lot to say about why we're here, why this estuary, this river is so special, and some of the efforts that are underway to keep it clean and to keep it special. One of the things that you'll notice around town are rain barrels that have been distributed by the town to make certain that stormwater does not just immediately flush right into the estuary, and it helps with the salinity issues and those things that make for a healthy ecosystem. In the background, you see the historic Church of the Cross at the end of Calhoun Street in downtown Bluffton. It is one of the historic features that is in the map put out by the Merchant Society, and if you visit, on most days you will find a docent in the church who will give you a little idea about the history and the construction details and a lot of cool stuff about this old church. One of the things that people really enjoy about a visit to the old town of Bluffton is the fact that everything is compact and walkable, and it is such a gorgeous area with the tree canopy and the Spanish moss. In fact, artists have been coming to Bluffton for over 100 years for precisely those reasons. Currently, the art business in Bluffton is the primary driver of the economy, and the fact that things are so gorgeous and so compact and so walkable and so interesting has a lot to do with the success of the many artists that are represented in the old town here. In the old days, when I first moved here 35 years ago, it was me. And when people came through the door, I knew that they had braved the speed trap in order to look at some pots. Well, now there are almost 250 other reasons to come to Bluffton, and it's the 250 plus artists that are represented in the galleries and shops along Calhoun Street, the next street over, Boundary Street, and also the side streets. And we all benefit from this lovely, amazing, dappled light that comes through the tree canopy. I'm standing here at the corner of Calhoun Street and Bridge Street at a busy four-way stop that helps to characterize one of the features that makes Bluffton really interesting is the fact that a lot of the older buildings have been repurposed and renovated. In this case, an old service station is now a kind of a cool shop across the street. What used to be the original Bluffton Phone Company is now the Montessori School. Most of the historic assets that we have here in Bluffton are actually artifacts of poverty. This was, up until fairly recently, not a prosperous area. And so there was not enough resource to tear down these old buildings and build new shiny buildings. So we rather perversely have history, especially in the built environment, that we would not have otherwise. In addition to repurposing the older buildings, a lot of the newer places are built in the style of that which was here before. We're in a part of Old Town Bluffton just off of Calhoun Street called the Carson Cottages. This is the venue for a lot of the interesting special events that we have here in the historic district. And if you want to find out just what particularly is going on when you might be here, if you'll go to oldtownbluffton.com, there's a pretty user-friendly interface there, and you can find out what you need to know. And it's certainly worth making that effort to be a part of some of these interesting and fun events that we have here in Old Town Bluffton. One of the nice things that you can look forward to on a visit to Old Town Bluffton is conversation. Most of the shops and galleries, businesses here in the Old Town are sole proprietorships, and so the folks that own the business work there, and I can vouch for the fact that one of the best parts of self-employment is you get to chat. People endure my stories, I get the benefit of their stories, and it just makes for a nice day. One of the great things about Old Town Bluffton is this is a community of working artists. When you come to Old Town, there are going to be people making things, and in my circumstance, making pots is pretty mindless, so I can talk and make the mud pies at the same time, and it's kind of part of the ambiance here. There's a certain creativity that is manifest that when you visit, at least momentarily, you're a part of. When you visit with us in the Old Town, you can expect that a lot of what you find is going to be made here. It's going to be caught out of the river, out of the May River estuary in terms of what the restaurants serve. And it is an interesting product, and it's a varied product. Most of it is local, almost to the point of being hyper-local, with notable exceptions. One of those being this water bottle that is designed by my neighbor, Laurel Herder, and these are being shipped all over the world from Bluffton. They're recycled glass water bottles, and it's something that is reflecting well on the entrepreneurial spirit that we seem to be an example of here in Old Town Bluffton. We're in one of the newer parts of Old Town Bluffton called the Promenade, and this is a pretty interesting little community in that much like older communities where there was residential up top and commercial down below, this was a planned community with those features built in. This is an architectural style that is more Charleston-like than Bluffton-like, but it is certainly compatible with that which you see down along Calhoun Street. One of the things that you'll find here are some nightlife. There are several, I think, pretty interesting bars and restaurants that stay open late. There are also a variety of restaurants, and it is, I think, a very compatible extension of that which you find down in the historic district. similar to what was done down in the historic district with the repurposing of buildings in the promenade. Their version of that was to use recycled materials for a lot of the buildings that are here. It's something that has a broad constituency, and on top of that, it makes for some very attractive buildings. I've talked a little earlier about how you get around the Old Town here and our new mapping kiosks and the new signage, but it's worthwhile to maybe speak a little bit about how you get to Bluffton. If you're coming from Hilton Head Island, there's only one road, and that's Highway 278. And if you will turn to the left, which is going south on Highway 46, you will find yourself in Bluffton. If you're coming from Savannah, if you will find your way to Highway 46, which is the first right after you pass over the Talmadge Bridge, you follow that, you will find yourself in Old Town Bluffton. If you're coming from Beaufort, come down 170 and turn off on 278, take a right on Highway 46, you'll find yourself in downtown Bluffton. It's not too hard, but you need to be attentive. Most people have got the little navigation things in your cars, and it'll get you close enough. And once you're here, you get the map from the Merchant Society, and all this opens up to you, and I guarantee you that you will enjoy your time here. I hope you've enjoyed our little stroll around Old Town Bluffton. I certainly have. It's a gorgeous day, and if you haven't been to Bluffton before, I hope there are some things that you've learned that maybe can condition your expectations as you come over and spend some time with us. And even if you've been here before, there are new things that are happening every day that are interesting, cool things that you want to be a part of. This is Jacob Preston, Bluffton's tallest potter, and I believe it's time for me to get back to work and make some more mud pies.